Owen, first of all, good afternoon. Finished your last training session. How are you? How are the team ahead of a massive World Cup opener against South Africa?
Yeah, I'm good and the team are very well. We have no injury concerns. Everybody full bill of health and excited for tomorrow. Yeah.
You and Joss have talked about, obviously, the tag of being favourites, and in some ways, it's better to be talked about. How have you spoke to the players about not worrying about this, title or being favourites? What have you talked about within that dressing room?
Yeah, we've spoke about it as a group. The level of expectation and favourite tags is there for a reason. Over the last 2 years, our form at home in particular has been outstanding, and that's the reason it's there. And to follow up your point, a lot of the World Cups that certainly I've played in and a couple of guys in the change room have played in, we've gone in with very little expectation and not done that well. And I'd pick this position over any other.
Just finally from me, going into tomorrow, is your team settled? Do you know your 11 right now?
Yeah, I do.
Care to share?
To wait for the toss, unfortunately. It's still 24 hours.
Ali at the front, second row. Oh,
No.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
John then on the far side.
Eoin, could you try and put into words what winning the World Cup would mean for cricket in this country?
It'd mean a huge amount. I think the World Cup alone raises, I suppose, the profile of the game and a platform for every young kid in this country to have a hero or inspiration to pick up a ball or a bat. So to go on and win it, I couldn't imagine what it'd do. Good.
Rory.
Just during the last training session or the last meeting, when you look around at your teammates' faces, what do you see? What emotions do you see in the group at the moment?
It's difficult to describe them unless you actually hear them say it, but I think there's a lot of belief within the room. We're very confident within our own game, and I think ahead of tomorrow, the first game of any World Cup or first day of an Ashes series always feels different, and that's natural for it to feel different because it will. Accepting that and finding a way of dealing with it on the day is a challenge within itself, but one that we're extremely looking forward to. So in anticipation of that, we just can't wait for tomorrow to come.
And with the nature of the competition, would you take a result tomorrow, a win under any circumstances, or are you really keen for it to be a sort of a statement performance?
No, a win under any circumstances. Yeah.
Will in front.
England's white ball cricket's changed a lot over the last 4 years. Do you feel you need a trophy to show for it, if that makes sense, or do you think just the transformations that has happened means it's not actually dependent on winning the World Cup?
I think we'll need to win a trophy at some stage. I think the transformation has been brilliant. I think finding some way of sustaining that and improving it over the course of however long we might see World Cups, 50 over World Cups played, where it might be 10, 20 years, whatever it is. We'd actually like to be at a stage where we're in and around this position right now on a consistent basis. Because when you look at other teams around the world that have consistently competed for World Cups, like Australia and India in particular, they find themselves there all the time, and it's not by fluke. So building on this and moving it forward, a lot of it will have to be driven by the players, but it will have to be backed by the organisation as well.
Lawrence.
Owen, will you need to say much to the team tomorrow, or does everyone know their roles perfectly by now?
Yeah, I hope not. I think it's a feeling in the morning. You try and sum up the best of what's going on. If things feel scattered and all over the place, a little bit of direction never hurts. But if things feel very focused and guys are raring to go, you normally just try and guide them in the right direction.
With the record you've got and the way you play, do you feel you intimidate opposition now?
I wouldn't say we intimidate opposition. I think one of the most satisfying things about the way that we play is that in the changing room we enjoy it a huge amount, and that makes it awesome because we're always having fun. There's always a smile on our face, regardless if we're winning or losing, because we're always trying to improve and challenge each other.
Do Ali, then Julian.
What's the challenge of the 10:30 starts in this tournament? Because obviously none of the sort of build-up cricket, apart from the warm-ups, has been 10:30 starts. We've seen what someone like KG Rabada can do to England when it is moving around. We saw that at Lords a couple of years ago. So what will be the message to the guys in terms of dealing with that?
Yeah, I think, to best position ourselves for the World Cup. Every World Cup there's something that stands out, and it could be that every team is 3 down in the first 10 overs or 4 down or something like that, and we've prepared for that. So finding a way of adapting if that's the scenario in the morning for the 10:30 starts is going to be a challenge that we're going to have to either overcome or just get better at throughout the tournament.
Julian?
Yeah, just following on from that, what specifically about South Africa as a team impresses you?
I think they're a well-rounded team. They're always a strong team coming into the tournament. They are very experienced as well. A lot of guys who have been around a long time. So they're just a well-rounded team.
Gentleman on this side, second row from the back.
The absence of Steyn in the other side, how does, when you look at their bowling attack, South Africa, how do you see that, their attack?
It's a strong attack. They've coped with Dale Steyn and previous, series for about a year and a half, I think, and they did a good job of that. The last time they played us at home, Dale Steyn wasn't here, so they have cover. Probably, definitely not as a reputable a name as Dale Steyn, but they certainly have cover.
Take about 3 or 4 more. Mike at the back on the right.
Owen, 12 months ago, Gareth Southgate created a perfect storm of unity with the England football team, and they did tremendously well at the Football World Cup. You had a session with Gareth, didn't you, a little while ago? What did you learn from him that you can harness in terms of the Cricket World Cup? Yeah, we did a session with Gareth. It was brilliant. Every one of our players enjoyed it, and every one of our backroom staff did as well. I think the thing that he got up and talked about his journey with the team in and around the World Cup, but in the build-up as well, and how they built, bigger expectations and became more together as a group. And I think everybody within the room listening who's been involved in our team over the last 4 years recognised that, they are where we were 2 years ago, and we started exactly where they did. Recognised what had happened in the past, drawn a line under it, tried to do things differently and move forward, and enjoyed the challenge of that. It's amazing. He did brilliantly, got to the semi-final, and everybody says it's great. We got knocked out of Champions Trophy semi-final, and we're crap.
Gentleman at the back.
With the ECB launching the 100-100 this year, and T20 leagues being popular around the world, do you think this World Cup is the ultimate test for the one-day format of the game?
Yeah, for the 50 hour, it is the ultimate test. Yeah, it's the prize everybody wants, definitely.
Angus Fraser had talked about you, Fraser. He said you don't care about impressing people. You don't mind if people don't like you. We have seen you have not sung the national anthem for England, or even you have said even for Ireland I wouldn't sing. So this sort of stubbornness, if I could use the word, how much of it drives you, and how does it feel to be the captain of the England team at this current phase?
Yeah, it's probably one of the strongest sides of my personality. It's something that I use quite a lot. And sort of to sum up what, I'd never dreamt as a kid that I would captain England at a home World Cup. I dreamt about scoring a Test match 100. I dreamt about hitting the winning runs in a World Cup final potentially. But I never dreamt, not even my wildest dreams, that I would captain a home World Cup.
2 gentlemen in the front here, this gentleman here.
A lot has been made of your batting lineup, and Faf has kind of come out and said that he's going to look to outbowl sides. Do you see this opening game as kind of a clash of cricketing ideologies?
No, I don't. Providing the wicket's a really good wicket, I think it's going to be a strong contest. And like 50 over cricket for the last probably 2 years, the wicket being a fresh one, if it's a good wicket, it'll be, it'll probably be dominated by the bat again, if you were to go on history. So that's probably the way it'll go.
Gentleman at the front, Paul, and then one more to finish. Thank you.
Owen, just a word on Faf. He's led this team for the past couple of years, but this is his first World Cup. How crucial will his leadership be during this tournament and tomorrow as well?
Yeah, I think every captain's leadership throughout a major tournament is extremely important. If they can do it with performance from the front and then dictate and guide and drive with tactics and things like that throughout the tournament is important. So Faf, he's a big player for them.
Paul?
I mean, so much work has gone into this World Cup, so much planning, all the priorities were focused on this. And it comes at a time when the game, is so prevalent with 2020, England are launching the 100. Do you think it's almost a case of now or never for England, because this is 50 over at its peak, and after the 50 over game might be marginalised in this country, at least after this tournament?
I wouldn't say it's now or never. It's just not something that crossed my mind. We've made a huge amount of progress. Cricketing at home is thriving. The women's game is thriving. The impact of that World Cup 2 years ago was amazing. I think the impact of this World Cup can have not as big an impact unless we go a long way, but it will have an impact on everybody. We got knocked out of the 99 World Cup early, but I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Last question.
Hi, Owen. In considering the journey of the World Cup over the next few weeks, how much focus are you putting on the first few matches and on momentum?
None at all. It's one game at a time. We've never really talked about momentum over the course of such a long tournament, because you have we would talk about it if there were games, 3 games in 2 days and then another one 2 days later. I don't think it'll have a huge impact, maybe towards the end of the group stages and into the maybe semi-finals and finals, but I don't see it, being like that early on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.